We are in an uncomfortably small conference room. It is a cool June day, and though I'm sitting stock still on a corporate chair in heavy air conditioning, I'm sweating heavily through my dress. This is what I do in job interviews. A month earlier, I had applied for a position at Merriam-Webster, America's oldest dictionary company. The posting was for an editorial assistant, a bottom-of-the-barrel position, but I lit up like a penny arcade when I saw that the primary duty would be to write and edit English dictionaries. I cobbled together a resume. I was invited to interview. I found the best interview outfit I could and applied extra antiperspirant to no avail. Steve Peralt, the man who sat opposite me, was, and still is, the director of defining at Merriam-Webster, and the person I hoped would be my boss. He was very tall and very quiet, a sloucher like me, and seemed almost as shyly awkward as I was, even while he gave me a tour of the modest, nearly silent editorial floor. Apparently, neither of us enjoyed job interviews. I, however, was the only one perspiring lavishly. "So tell me," he ventured, "why are you interested in lexicography?" I took a deep breath and clamped my jaw shut so I didn't start blabbing. This was a complicated answer. I grew up the eldest, book-loving child of a blue-collar family that was not particularly literary. According to the hagiography, I started reading at 3, rattling off the names of road signs on car trips and pulling salad dressing bottles out of the fridge to roll their tangy names around on my tongue. Blue Cheesy, Italian, Thousand Iceland. My parents cooed over my precociousness, but thought little of it. I chawed my way through board books, hoarded catalogs, decimated the 2 monthly magazines we subscribed to, National Geographic and Reader's Digest, by reading them over and over until they fell into tatters. One day, my father came home from his job at the local power plant, exhausted, and dropped down onto the couch next to me. He stretched, groaning, and plopped his hard hat on my head. "What you reading, kiddo?" I held the book up for him to see. Tabor's Cyclopedic Medical Dictionary, a book from my mother's nursing days of yore. "I'm reading about scleroderma," I told him. "It's a disease that affects skin." I was about 9 years old. When I turned 16, I discovered more adult delights. Austen, Dickens, Mallory, Stoker, a handful of Brontes. I'd sneak them into my room and read until I couldn't see straight. It wasn't story, good or bad, that pulled me in. It was English itself. The way it felt in my braces caged mouth and rattled around my adolescent head. As I grew older, words became choice weapons. What else does a dopey, short, socially awkward teenage girl have? I was a capital N nerd, and treated accordingly. Never give them the dignity of a response, was the advice of my grandmother, echoed by my mother's terser, just ignore them. But why play dumb when I could outsmart them, if only for my own satisfaction? I snuck our old bargain bin Roget's thesaurus from the bookshelf and tucked it under my shirt, next to my heart, before scurrying off to my room with it. "Troglodyte," I'd mutter when one of the obnoxious guys in the hall would make a rude comment about another girl's body. "Cacafuego," I seethed when a classmate would brag about the raging kegger the previous weekend. Other teens settled for brown noser. I put my heart into it with pathetic lick-spittling ass. But lexophile that I was, I never considered spending a career on words. I was a practical blue-collar girl. Words were a hobby. They were not going to make me a comfortable living. Or rather, I wasn't going to squander a college education, something no one else in my family had, just to lock myself in a different room a few thousand miles away and read for 14 hours a day, though I felt wobbly with infatuation at the very idea. I went off to college with every intention of becoming a doctor. Medicine was a safe profession, and I would certainly have plenty of time to read when I had made it as a neurosurgeon. No matter how book smart, we're all idiots at 17. Fortunately for my future patients, I didn't survive organic chemistry, a course that exists solely to weed slobs like me out of the doctoring pool. I wandered into my sophomore year of college rudderless, a handful of humanities classes on my schedule. One of the women in my dorm quizzed me about my classes over Raisin Bran. Latin, I droned. Philosophy of religion, a colloque on medieval Icelandic family sagas. Hold up, she said. Medieval Icelandic family sagas? Medieval Icelandic family sagas. She put her spoon down. I'm going to repeat this to you one more time so you can hear how insane that sounds. Medieval Icelandic family sagas. It did sound insane, but it sounded far more interesting than organic chemistry. If my sojourn into pre-med taught me anything, it was that numbers and I did not get along. Okay, fine, she said, resuming breakfast. It's your college debt.